Hello class, how are you all? Class, today we are going to command on chapter Measurement and Experimental Technique with the help of this worksheet. So let's discuss what we have studied in this chapter. We have studied the ways of measuring physical quantities and what are those special techniques which are used in chemistry experiment. So let's begin this discussion with MCQs. The very first MCQ is: an attempt was made to compress a gas and a solid using the apparatus shown. Now two things are given in this statement, that two substances are in solid and gaseous physical state. The question part is, which substance would be compressed and what is the reason for it? So the very obvious fact about the physical states of matter, that solid is the state of matter in which particles are very tightly and closely packed together, having no space between them, among them. So it is hardly impossible to compress a solid. The left thought is about a gaseous state. So option C and D are omitted. It says which substance would be compressed and what is the reason for it. So obviously gas will show compression. And what will be the possible reason for it? Let's see option A. The gas particles are closer together. If the particles are closer, then the substance cannot be compressed easily. So what do you think for option B? The gas particles are far apart. I think you are very closer to the correct answer now. The second MCQ. In which change of state do the particles become more widely separated? Now, when we see option A, it is gas to liquid. So, from gas to liquid, the particles get closer. In option B, gas to solid. Again, the particles become orderly arranged to become a solid. When we see option C, liquid to gas, yes, this option seems to be very closer. But what about D, liquid to solid? Again, you are just thinking about the right option, in which particles become more widely separated, and the particles are most widely separated in a gaseous state. The third MCQ is, the diagram shows how to obtain pure water from seawater. Where do water molecules lose energy? It is a very tricky question, that we have to see that if the particles are absorbing heat energy, means they are gaining more energy. And we know that when solids are heated, the particles absorb energy to convert into liquid state. On further heating, the liquid particle absorbs more kinetic energy to convert them into the gaseous phase. So the absorption of energy is done from solid to gaseous state change. But we see how it happens. This liquid in option B is absorbing heat energy from A. Then the liquid is vaporized and then passed through this condenser, where the cold flowing water condenses the vapors back into liquid, which are separated here in beaker in the D. So the question part is, where do water molecules lose energy? Means if particles are converting from liquid to gas, this change needs energy. But when gas is condensed, back into liquid. Yes, this is the clear answer. When vapors are condensed back to liquid, then they must be losing energy. And where it is going on? Most probably in the condenser. Now, fourth MCQ, the diagram shows three pieces of apparatus that are used for the measuring of the volumes of a liquid. What are these pieces of apparatus? So, one is measuring cylinder, second is a pipe burette, and third one is a pipette. The fifth MCQ, the diagram shows some pieces of laboratory equipments. 1. Balance. 2. Stop clock. 3. Thermometer. Which equipment is used or needed to find out whether dissolving salt in water is an endothermic process? You know what are endothermic reactions? These reactions proceed when they absorb energy. So, energy changes are always measured by means of temperatures. So, the most required equipment is a thermometer. Now, theory section. Seawater contains a variety of dissolved salt. And seawater is very, very salty, almost bitter due to the same fact. The diagram shows a simple distillation apparatus that can be used to produce purified water from seawater, and this method is called as desalination, means removal of salt or saline from water. Now the diagram is explaining the whole chemistry. Seawater is heated here, is vaporized, rose up in the round bottom flask, then pass through the condenser where they are cooled to get the pure water. Explain how distillation purifies seawater. Okay, you have to explain the whole process. What is a precipitate? How it can be separated from its solution. Again, a separation of insoluble solid from its solution. What is a precipitate? A precipitate is the insoluble solid formed in a chemical reaction. When we are asked to separate insoluble solid, definitely the method of filtration will be the most suitable method for its separation. B. How common salt is obtained from seawater. Again, a very low cost method of evaporation, because seawater provides us with very ample or bulk supply of salts which is dissolved in it, and when we evaporate seawater we get bulk and tons of salts from it. So the method is very simple, evaporation. What methods are used to collect gases? You know, this part is the very technical point where we need to collect or separate gases which are formed formed or produced in any chemical experiment. You know, there are two main important points which need to be considered or remembered. Either the gas is soluble or insoluble in water, and second point, what about the molar mass of the gas? Is it lighter than air or heavier than air? These 2 points will help us to design the method to collect gas. How do we measure volume of gases in an experiment? You know, there is a special designed syringe which is used to measure the volume of the gases during any experiment. The F part is how we dry a gas. You know, sometimes the gases are produced in aqueous solutions. There, water vapors are added in the gas. So how to remove those water vapors? We have special chemicals for it. You need to go through your textbook for it. Ammonia, chlorine, hydrogen chlorine cannot be collected by displacement of water. Why? You have to keep 2 points here again, which are explained in part D. Methane is insoluble in water and is less dense than air. Describe with the aid of diagram how you would collect a dry sample of methane gas. Again, the question is the application of all the knowledge or methods of separation of gas. Just try to solve it all and you will be confident about the concepts or about the methods of separation used in different conditions. Thank you, class. God bless you. Take care.